Guys, my buddy Tony has broken down. I'm hooked to his trailer. We're up here in Kentucky and I'm gonna get him and tow him home. Old truck sound about like mine did when my other engine lost oil pressure. I feel really bad for him. But anyway, we're gonna get it loaded up, strapped down, and get him headed toward the house. He did put it in 4 low, so it'd pull a little easier to get up on the trailer. This is one video of I think it's a 4-part series, 3 or 4-part series that is on the membership site, and I'm putting it over onto YouTube. So I'm just scheduling them up to come out one after another. So check in the link in the description. If you like this video, look in the description. By clicking the title, the description will fall down and you'll have the links to the rest of the series as they come out. So it may not be in there today, but I'm probably going to schedule them up to come out 1 a week or 2 a week, something like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoy, and just keep in mind this was from last October 2024 and it is now July 2025. When someone breaks down, the 2 things that are normally stressing them the most is how to get their load delivered. So we got his load took to South Carolina, got it delivered, so he don't have to worry about that. And it made it where we could use his trailer to haul his truck back. And a huge thanks to our friend Cleveland that came and got him off the side of the interstate and got him into a safe parking spot. So if you guys remember my buddy Tony, he used to be leased to Indiana Transport. He went out on his own and bought him a trailer and went to hot shotting, and he had a run of bad luck last week. I may have posted a video about it. I haven't at this time, but before you see this one, there may be a video about that. But he's got the 2020 here that y'all seen running around with me in the videos before. We went to Calico Ghost Town stuff together, and he lost oil pressure just like what I did in mine whenever it went down. And we were looking at different stuff, and then he found a bunch of metal in the oil filter. So this is what I'm gonna be doing for the next few days. And what I just told him, I hate to feel like I'm kicking anybody when they're down, but I asked him did he mind if we videoed it. But he's got to get back to work super quick because all the bills are running in and the truck's down. So here's his new engine. It has 16,000 miles. It's out of a 22, if I remember right, 22 L5P Duramax. And we are going to take and haul his truck to Tennessee. We're in Indiana now, where he lives. Haul his truck to Tennessee and pop the cab up, swap a motor. Today is Sunday. We're hoping to have him back on the road by Wednesday. So we got a pretty big job ahead of us. And you know, when I did my truck, I got plenty of really good video, and I lost it. I formatted an SD card, but I'm gonna try not to talk too much. I hope I do okay on the video. He said he didn't mind me recording. But here's his trailer. We're gonna load it on his gooseneck to take it home. And he has a 40-footer. Now mine's only 24. But what we're gonna do there is I have a Kingpin adapter, and a lot of people ask me about this. If you are thinking about getting a 5th wheel to gooseneck Kingpin adapter, don't buy that little plate, the one with the Kingpin on one side and a ball on the other. The only way you can use that is if you have a fixed 5th wheel. When I say fixed, meaning it pins in, it stays flat all the time, and it doesn't pivot and move around. Because if you get one like this, this 5th wheel rocks back and forth and side to side. So when the trailer's moving around, it moves with it. If you put that in there and you hit the brakes, it's going to flip forward. When you go to take off, it's going to flip that 5th wheel back. This is my adapter. I do love the adapter, but it seems to carry the trailers a little high in the front. I wished I could fix my 5th wheel where it's set just a hair lower, like 3 inches lower, but it's all the way down the lowest setting. Anyway, I don't know how much video I can get of all this, but I'm gonna do my best, and I hope you guys enjoy. There's a Kingpin adapter on his trailer. I just took it off, brought it with me, and we would have went up to this last hole, but it hits these welds, won't go all the way in. But yeah, it just slides right up on the fifth wheel. I'll show you when we get hooked up. We're on a little bit of a downhill stretch here, right in front of his house, and I was gonna show you what I do when I'm loading something going downhill onto a trailer is I put it in full wheel drive and set the parking brake. And the reason I do that is if it happens to lift the back of the trailer up, it won't scoot the back tires, start pushing, which his ramps, they don't allow for that anyway. It levels them. But anyhow, he's going to get the truck pulling around and just let the ramps down, and we'll get her loaded up. Well, that thing sounds pitiful. I'm hoping he can get it up on here before it locks up. But I asked him, do you want me to just pull him out and roll it down this hill and run up on it? And he said he thought it would be fine because it's a core motor anyway. You hear the gear whine like my motor had. He got it 4 low, so it'll pull pretty good. But we got him up on here. He's loaded enough stuff on his trailer, he really don't need my help. Hey, Tony. There we go. Poor thing sound pitiful. Barely got oil pressure. Tony's been doing the hot shot deal. He's been using these wheel straps. He actually gave me a set the other night, but I've used them on Wrecker a long time ago. I like them. They're very functional, and it's a lot easier than digging around with chains and stuff. But that's all we're gonna put. We've got one on each tire, and we're gonna let it rock. I believe we're ready to head toward Tennessee. You know, this thing is pretty awesome. My air compressor, or my air tank on the truck up to 150 psi. It takes a little bit to do it. If you're gonna get one, use the 8.0 or the bigger battery. Don't get the little 5.0s or 2, whatever, it'll chew them up quick. But if you got an 8.0 battery, it's cool that it'll do it. Man, I miss my onboard compressor though. That thing was awesome, having 200 psi on tap at any given time. I mean, this is working. I mean, it's fine. I don't air it up, but maybe once, unless I'm using it like I was just using it to hook up to this trailer, because it's a lot different than mine. But that thing is a lifesaver, but it's so much more handy to have the 200 psi on tap where it's always charged up and all that stuff. You know? I'm missing it today, I guess. But the old truck is tied down, and that's really all we're waiting on. Tony's finishing some stuff up, he's gonna drive that truck down, and then he's gonna tow it back with this truck when we get the engine in. So we didn't have a way to get the engine off and on this truck, and no further than we're going, it's not gonna be that bad. So anyway, and nothing exciting happens, I'll see you again in Tennessee. There it is. Getting ready to pull out and take the 4-wheel drive out, which that's probably unnecessary. But if a ground's slick, like snow or something like that, I like putting it in. And I don't like being on a hill with a load on and having it sitting there in park. I feel like it's hard on it. But here he comes. There he goes. Here we go. A long trailer. Well, here we are. We're at my buddy's shop, and I was looking around under here and looking at the other engine. They took the exhaust apart right here. Well, when I did mine, it came apart up top. So I'm just sitting here looking. This ground wire right here will need to come loose before we lift the cab. There's his power inverter wires. They'll need to come loose before we lift the cab. Anything aftermarket, the air compressor for his airbags and all that, the wiring will need to be taken loose and dropped to the ground to be left with the frame. He does have a radiator hose clamp. I did not. Mine was crimped on, and I had to pull the radiator clip on this one, and then the air-to-air clip on that one. And I'll show you guys how to do it. You can see the metal clip sticking out right there, and you just pull that out and wiggle it off. The radiator on the bottom has got the same style clamp, but you have to push it in. You can see the back side of it right there, right there, and you lift it up and push it across on top and bottom. But as far as the brackets, I'm not seeing what I saw on my truck. Keep in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing. We're just figuring it out as we go along. I figured mine out, we'll figure this one out. And then anything we figure out that I think is good to know, I'll let you guys know as we go. Painful as it is, we're gonna start it up again. It doesn't have any coolant in it. We drained the coolant. And he's gonna back it off and get it in the shop. That'll be the last time we run it. All this start. So he was coming south on 75, and the engine just shut off. He coasted off on the side of the road. Truck was running fine, and whenever he got to checking it out, he found a blown fuse on top of the battery on the passenger side. He fixed that, and when he started back up, the truck had very, very low oil pressure. Now, with it having that low oil pressure, is exactly what happened to this truck. Whenever my engine went down at 501,000 miles, it still ran, it just had low oil pressure. Now he had, from what I'm understanding, he had a lot more oil in his oil, or metal in his oil filter, than what I had. And at that point, the engine, it's got too much damage to try to do anything with it. Could we have got it to pick up oil pressure and maybe run? He's thinking the oil pump failed in it. I think something different, but we'll see when he tears it down. We'll see when I tear mine down. And just kind of see what actually failed in it, because that's two L5P Duramaxes that failed exactly the same, except for mine never shut off. That's the only difference. But that truck did have 380,000 miles on it, and it's been a good solid truck. He has ran with me all over the country and pulling heavy loads, and it's never really given a whole lot of trouble to talk about. But he had just started into hot shotting. He's just really getting his company off the ground. He got his own authority and his own numbers and all that stuff. And that's a big expense to get started up, to transition from one thing into something else. Then after spending, he bought a trailer, bought all of his equipment and all that. And that was a big expense. And then a couple of other things, he got knocked down a couple of other times with big expense. And then this happened. So that was a really big setback. I think he wound up with about $9,000 tied up into this engine swap. And I didn't tell him, you know, I didn't never talk about money. I wasn't worried about it, and I'm still not worried about it. You know, one day when he gets on his feet, if he wants to kick me a little money, it'd be fine. If not, you know, I'm happy I was there and able to help. I was home and able to help, because if I would have been on the other side of the country, wouldn't have been a whole lot I could have done for him. But it worked out where I was at home, and things worked out. But you guys here on the membership site, you guys make it possible for me to take a week off at a time and go help someone like that, and every now and again. And a lot of the things that I do, that as far as helping other people, this membership site really helps me to do that. So thank you so much for being here. Now, on the video, there's 147 clips. I did the best I could. It's not the most descriptive video in the world, but it is the best I could do with what I had while we were trying to rush to get him back on the road. So the video is probably going to be broken into 3 pieces. I think the next video will be getting everything disconnected, lifting the cab, and possibly swapping the engine. And then the next one will be setting the cab back on, firing it up. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking from what I've seen so far. But the videos are coming. I'm working on them. I want to get them out as quick as I can so they don't get lost like the engine swap video on this truck. And anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks so much for being a member. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.